Welcome to Whole and Beautiful. Good evening and welcome. This is Whole and Beautiful, and I am Angela D. Oliphant, your host, and I am so glad that you all have joined me for another night of information, revelation, and change. Good evening, Linda. I am glad that you are here tonight, and I'm asking that you like, that you comment, that you share this broadcast with somebody else. Let them know that we are here. Hi, Lynn. How are you? Thank you for joining tonight. I have a great show for you on tonight, and I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about. Before we get into all of that, hey Josie, good to see you. Before we get into everything, though, I wanted to let you all know that I have a lot that is planned for the rest of this year for Whole and Beautiful. Things are starting to come together. The puzzle pieces are being put together. So I have different people that are going to be coming on that are going to be talking about some different topics that I think are very important. One, we will have someone that is coming that is talking about menopause. So let your friends know, those of us that's over 50, those of us that are premenopausal, I want you to be on the show. I want you to ask questions. You can send me questions at wholebeautiful@gmail.com so that I can get those questions to the doctor that's coming on, and she can prepare for your questions. Also, we have someone coming in that's going to be talking about mental health. We're going to be talking about anxiety, trauma. We're even going to get into some discussion about schizophrenia. So I want you all to send me some questions, wholebeautiful@gmail.com, so that I can get those questions to her. I want my Whole and Beautiful Nation to come together and ask a lot of those questions. Good evening, Miss A. Thank you for joining. I want y'all to come in and bring those questions in, whatever questions you may have concerning mental illness or mental health. I want you to send those questions to me so that we can have a show that's going to bring you the information that you need, that's going to bring the revelation that you need, and prayerfully it will bring about that change that you want to have in your life. So we are doing a couples conversation. I told y'all that I was going to bring in some more couples, and each couple that I have brought in has been different. And this particular couple is not a married couple, not yet anyway. They are in this relationship, but they're not married. They're in the millennial generation. So we are going to talk to them, and I want them to share some things about their generation, about how dating is going. We're just going to have a good old conversation. So y'all want to let somebody know that we are here and that we are going to have a good conversation tonight. I want you to put your questions out there. I want you to put your comments in there, and let's just have a good conversation tonight and see where they are in their minds and stuff. Because sometimes I'm thinking I'm from a whole different planet sometimes with the way that I think, but it's the way that I grew up. I grew up differently. So I'm going to bring in my guests on tonight, and I'm going to let them share a little bit about themselves. I have my first guest that is here with me. I'm going to add her to the stage. It's Miss Elizabeth Oliphant. If y'all know that she has the same last name I do. So that means, yes, she is my daughter. Lizzie, thank you for joining on tonight.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to bring in my next guest on tonight, which is Mr. Derek Childs. How are you, Derek?
I am good. I am good. How are you, Miss Angie?
I am doing well. And like I told you all before, they're not a married couple, but they are a couple. So usually when I have a couple on here, I have married couples, and I have married people who have been married a long time, some who have been not married that long, and now I have my first couple who's not married yet, but they are on here to discuss their generation, the dating pool, how things are going out there, and how things happen in their generation. But first, I want Mr. Derek. I want you to share a little bit of information about who you are, what you do. Just give us some information because this show is all about information, revelation, and change. So we
Okay.
want to know a little bit of information about you.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name is Derek Childs. Originally from Queens, New York. Live in North Carolina. Currently, um, I'm African American. Just in case. You just wondering. Let me think.
what
I'm
do you
here.
what do you do
What do I do? As
as
far as
far as your job?
yeah, I'm a sales and marketing specialist for it's a fabric company, but I work in the medical division. So dealing with doctors, orthopedic centers, and things of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been on that job how long? Or
Um,
in that profession?
3 years. No, 3 years.
Okay.
3 years.
Now let's move on to Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Miss,
Yes,
can
ma'am.
you share a little bit about yourself and who you are?
I'm Elizabeth. I'm your best child. Um, uh, work at a bank. I'm a teller, and I got two kiddos, Madison and Genesis.
Okay, and how long have you been at the been working as a teller?
A year and a couple of months.
Okay, are you liking your job, or is that a trap question?
It's pretty good. I like it. It's pretty good.
Okay. Tonight, guys, I wanted both of you all to be on here tonight because I was telling you all about how in statistics that I have been looking up was saying how people within your age group, because that in that 30-ish age group, from like 20 something, 26, 27, up in there on up to throughout the 30s, they are not interested like in church per se. But something interesting that I read today was this saying that a lot of people in the age group will say that they are Christians, although they say that they don't want to go to church.
Mm, okay.
So I wanted your thoughts about being in that generation of millennials, because I've heard like everything that I've heard has not been like great. Everybody says, okay, they don't want to go to church, but they say they believe in Christ. And
Hmm.
then they are saying that church is not needed. So I wanted y'all thoughts on what you think. And they were saying let me see, and I'm going to get my points straight. They said 2 out of 10 believe church attendance is important. And I was like, man, I got my 2 out of 10, but I want to just hear your thoughts on it. And Derek, you can go first, and then Lizzie, you can let me know what your thoughts is about millennials and church attendance.
Yeah, I mean, I can personally say I grew up in church. From as long as I can remember, my mother kept us, me and my brother and sister, in church. So I feel like it's something that I kind of grew up in. But as far as the millennials now, I feel like we're looking for realness. We're looking for an authentic relation, like an authentic experience with God, and not fluff, and not politics, and not all of this other stuff that has nothing to do with God. We just want the word of God. We want real word. We want the presence of God. I know that's what I personally look for when I look for a church. I'm looking for the authentic presence of God, where God can move, where there is things done in excellence, where we're not just being taught the Bible, but we're also taught practical skills, practical living, how to budget, how to survive in this social media microwave type world. And I am very, I will say I am privileged to be a part of the church that I go to, which is called Harvest City Church, because that's something that, we're taught there. But I kind of feel like growing up in church that was my roots. So I don't really go far. So I've done things. I've not always been perfect, but I do believe having the roots and having being in church all of my life kind of allowed me to, yes, do some things, but God will only allow me to go so far. It's only so far that He will allow me to go before He pulls me back, before He calls me back in. It's so I think it kind of deals with roots, kind of deals with you also being serious about it, about being in church at this age. I'm 33. Um, because now I'm not going based off of because my mother told me to go, or because we couldn't stay at home. We was going to
Right.
church because we lived in her house. But now I live by myself, so I have to make the choice to then say I want my own relationship with God. I want to talk to Him. I want to read His Word. I want to spend time with Him. That's a conscious decision that I'm making, not because my mother's making me go, because that's something I want to do.
Okay. And Lizzie, what's your take on everything, like as far as like with millennials in y'all generation attend church attendance?
Mm, I think it's well, our generation it stems with the parents. So when we were coming up, a lot of parents started getting church hurt. And so they didn't make their kids go to church. So now they're like in the middle of, I want to go to church, but then I want to live my life and I don't want to get church hurt like my parents did. So that is like they're in that middle, like that middle stage. So some of it stems from like their parents. I'm sure that like the grandparents brought them up in church,
Yeah.
but when it came to their parents, they gave them a choice because it was more so like a lot of stuff going on in church when we were growing up. So
Yeah, and it's like, and what I've seen though is like a lot of people, and I don't like the term I don't like the term church hurt um a lot, because I look at a lot of how where we people been hurt in a lot of different other situations, but I think that they put people in church on a higher pedestal. But I understand exactly what you're saying, because they put them on a higher pedestal and they look at them as saying, okay, y'all are the ones that's supposed to be living right. Y'all
Mhm.
are the ones that's supposed to be doing these things right. And then certain things happen, and then people don't. I didn't think about the fact that then they don't make their kids go because they're saying, oh, I'm gonna give y'all the choice because I ain't gonna, because it could be the parent too
Yeah, yeah,
saying, I don't want you to go and experience what I experienced. And now I'm just gonna let you do what you do. So you got a choice.
that's good.
Ah,
That was good.
that's something to think about.
Yeah.
That is something to think about. Do you think, because I know, Derek, at the church that you attend, I have like watched some of the services and stuff even online. Linda is saying, right, the church doesn't hurt, people do. Yeah, people hurt people.
Yeah,
And hurt people will hurt other people.
exactly. Exactly.
And if they are not made whole and they're not healed, they will hurt other people. And I have people do that at work, hurt people, will
Yeah.
hurt other people, even at work, and
Yeah.
that's everywhere.
Yes.
Um, when you're looking at everything as far as like with the church and being in attendance, like I was saying at your church, Derek, I see a lot of young men that attend that church,
Hmm.
and that's something that you don't see at a lot of churches, is that the younger men that are attending. Um, what do you think? draws them in? Is it like because the pastor is it around their age group? Is it the area you think? What do you think causes those young men to come in, and they're not just coming in and floating out, they're coming in and they're staying?
I would say it's a combination of things. I live in Greensboro. Well, my church is in Greensboro, so it is relatively close to two or three colleges. My pastor, before he became a senior pastor, he was a college pastor, and so
Okay.
he, kind of he speaks the language. I will say of younger people. He is younger as well. He's younger, but he's like an old young man.
Yeah, because you
Because
can tell by the way he talks and the things that he do. It's
yes,
like you have to remember that he is younger. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, and I think also um, we give them something to do. Like we involve them. We do things for the community. There's different things different ministries or different things they can do at Harvest City. And I think also, like I said, the authentic presence of God, where someone can come in, and it's not about flesh. It's not about who has the mic. It's really about God being in control. And everybody doesn't like a charismatic or a church that, because we run, we jump, we shout, all of that stuff. And everybody may not like that. But for the people that are there, it definitely works. I definitely enjoy it. That's one of the things that captured me was the presence of God. And also then I'm able to work and do things, join different ministries. Um, and it's a relatable word. So yeah.
And do y'all think that that is because of the way that you were taught growing up, that you have that instilled in you, so that therefore when you come into a church that's flowing in that manner, it's like this is what I know, or was your church different?
I would say the church I grew up in was different. I grew up in a Kojic church. It was a little bit more traditional, and it's nothing against that church, nothing against that pastor, because I learned a lot from that pastor. But as I got older and I started visiting other churches and started living life and started, venturing outside the Kojic umbrella, I realized that there are other churches out here that serve the same God, that does things in excellence. My church I grew up in, we of course it was a spirit filled church, and then some of the stuff I learned, of course, in the household with my mother, because we did have Bible study. We had times of prayer in the house, and we prayed every morning before school. So that those things also was instilled in me as I was growing up, but also just going to different churches and seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like. Because I've been to good churches and I've been to bad churches. So having that experience of going to different places, and seeing what's going on, what's happening, who's doing what, that kind of helped me choosing as well.
Okay, what about with you, Lizzie? What are you as far as like with you going to church and stuff? But I know everything about that, but you can share with everybody else. What did you feel like now that you're in the space that you're in? What motivates you to go or even not to go?
Mm, I think it's more so like I grew up in it,
Mm-hmm.
but then as I got older and stuff started happening, it was more so like I like being at church. Like I would feel a different way if I didn't go to church. So I
Okay.
think it was more so like growing up in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the both of both like best of both worlds. So I grew up in a church that wasn't like, oh, it wasn't like the shouting type of church. It was just like a laid back church. But then when we moved, it was more so like a shouting. So I had like different experiences.
Mhm.
Right.
So it's like going to a church that I know that I feel like is authentic. I mean, that's what
That's
that's what
what
makes
be
me
like
go.
your motivation.
Yeah.
And what about your like your relationship, because we're gonna switch your relationship with Christ. Um, is that something that you feel like a lot of millennials work on, or do they just put a cross themselves, say, "Oh, I'm a Christian"? Because I hear a lot of people, "Oh, yeah, I'm a Christian,"
Right.
or is the relationship authentic with them? I know that you said they're searching for authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
but are they being authentic? Do you think that
Mm,
they're being authentic? We'll start with Liz and we'll go to Derek.
You have some people that are authentic, but then you have some people that just want to have that label of Christian because it's like they are, it's like if they want to be accepted by
Mm-hmm.
certain people, it's like I have to have this label of being a Christian type instead of just saying that I really don't know what I want to believe and the
Uh-huh.
person just take them as, because some people that are call themselves Christians, they could be very judgmental. So
yeah.
if a person comes in and say,
Yes.
"Hey, I just want to be your friend," and if they're not Christian, then it's like, "Oh, you can't hang out with us," type
Yeah,
thing.
right.
So it's like a lot of people, a lot of younger kids, I mean younger adults, have this label because they
Mm-hmm.
want to be accepted instead of just saying that right now I don't know in
Right.
my life right now I don't know, and then just people being okay with that and accepting them for who they are. It's like they just want to be accepted. And so they was like, the church will accept me if I say I'm a Christian. So they have to put on this form of godliness per se to
But
say
not
that to get accepted.
okay. So the very thing that they don't like is what they do.
Hmm.
Got you. Okay, Derek.
Okay. You want to talk here? um, let me see. Um, do I think that they are? I think there are some people who are authentic. I have come to find out as I'm getting older that people that the church is a hospital. So people are coming in. Some people are more saved than others. Some people know God more than others. Some people are more dedicated than others. So it's really a matter of having people and accepting them where they are at that moment and not um, because they can be authentic to the level of where they are. So they may come in and they were a sinner last week, but they made the decision to come in. So that's they're being authentic in their experience at that time. They may not know all the scriptures. They may not quote every scripture. They may not know every worship song, but they're authentic in trying to get to know this God that they hear about, this Jesus they hear about. But they may not have the best relationship with him in the beginning, but as they continue to come, as they continue to, talk to God and are at a Bible filled church that can teach them how to have a relationship. Because I think sometimes people don't know. I think sometimes Christians make God so obtainable, like he's so high, he's so up here, and he is worthy.
Yeah, but
He's
it's like
marvelous.
they can't reach.
Right, that they can't, their sin is too great, or they've sinned too much and they can't reach God, or you can't, this level of Holy Ghost I've been saved for 19,000 years. Like, we understand. Thank you, Prophet. We understand. But at this place that I'm at, I read God's word. I love God's word. I'm authentic to where I am, and as I continue to read, as I continue to be in God's presence, as I continue to go to church and serve, then my level will increase. My word level will increase. My authenticness will increase as well.
Could you bring that question back up that was up so that we can ask? It says the question is, you've mentioned authentic a lot in your age group. What does that look like, and what do you consider to be authentic in your age group? What does it look
Hmm.
like, and what do you consider to be authentic? Let's start with you, Miss Liz, and we're gonna go to Mr. Derek.
I would say authentic would be more so just being real. So, like, if I go to a church and I meet somebody that's there, it's not like they're got this holier than thou. Like, I've been there, I've done that.
Right.
And it's pretty much like, if I mess up, you're not going to, like, look at me a different way. You're
Okay.
going to be there every step of the way type thing. More so, it's like, I'm not scared to even come to church if I mess up.
Right.
So I think that's more so like authentic instead of coming to a church where I messed up, but you're going to condemn me for coming to church where people say you're supposed to get help type.
Okay. And Derek, what's your answer to that?
I would say authentic is really your motives. Why you're coming to church? Why are you coming to church to be seen? Are you coming to church to check a box of I went to church today? Or are you going there to really seek after God's presence? Are you going there to really learn God's word and to be amongst the saints? So I really would say your authenticness is connected to your motives of why you decided to be in church. Because some people are not in church because they love God. They in church to find the next person they want to be with, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's just connected to your motives, and you really understanding that you can come to God and God, I sin. God, I'm trying not to smoke, and I smoked yesterday. And being real with God is
Mm-hmm.
that you may not necessarily be real with the people that may be in your church. You may have a small group of people you may talk to, but being authentic with God and being able to express your faults and express what's going on in your life, and understanding that He's not judging you, that He loves you through it all, that He loves you. Whether you sin, whether you don't sin, He loves you, that His love supersedes the sin that you may did yesterday, or the sin you may have done this morning. His
Mm-hmm.
love for you supersedes that.
Okay. And you mentioned a few minutes ago, and we're gonna switch a little bit. You
Okay.
said like people going to church trying to find a relationship. You just opened up the door. You opened it all up. He
Good
swung
segue.
that door wide open,
Good
so
segue.
we can just travel right on through here.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I wanted to talk to you all about the how dating is as far as like in your age group. It's a whole different ball game from when a lot of other people were dating. And I was like, I really didn't date, so I don't have a clue. Um, and I did not. I I met who I met
Now who I'm back.
in when I was in high school. I
Amen.
got married straight out of high school. I was like I wasn't on the dating scene, so I don't know really too much about the dating scene. But I'm asking you all, how is it like with dating? And then y'all can go into how did you all meet as far as like dating. And they laugh. Okay. Okay, tell me that how is dating in the millennial world? Because I see a lot of people online, I see a lot of people doing the online thing. People are not
Mhm.
just meeting people, they meeting people on computers
Right.
and stuff, but that's not a world I know about. So let's talk about
Go ahead, Elizabeth. Go ahead.
it.
I mean, dating and today, I mean, it's a hit and miss. You have the people that want to do the toxic relationships, like they get a drill out of it. And then
Yes.
you got the other people that really want a real
You
relationship.
said go back. You said people who want toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Like they get a thrill of
Yes.
finding out that you're cheating on somebody and then flipping out, but then I'm going to take you back anyway.
Right.
People get a thrill out of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead. I was like that kind of like, okay. That just baffles me because that's not my mindset. That would no, but go ahead.
But
And
then you have the other people that want something that's long term and real and want it to like end up in like a marriage and a family. So it's like it just depends on who you run into at the time, honestly.
So, are you talking about like face to face running to, or are you talking about just online running to?
Since it's like the social media culture is more so online because nobody wants to go. I think more so people don't meet out in public because everybody's scared of rejection.
Action. Yes.
So it's like I want to go out and meet people, but it's like who makes the first move? So it's like a lot of people are scared of rejection. Like they could be sitting by the person they're going to date, like marry, but it's like nobody wants to say, hey, because they don't want to be rejected because their ego will be hurt if it's like a no. So
Okay. All right, Derek, go ahead.
Yeah, dating in this generation is it's definitely unique. I think the accessibility of people through dating apps is wow. Like you can meet the nicest of people or you can meet the meanest of people. It really depends on the day. It depends on what you have in your bio. It depends on, I mean, your pictures. You pull on the reactions and the emotions of different people on dating apps. But it is a very unique situation. Kind of like Elizabeth said, that some people are ready for a relationship. They're ready to settle down. And then there's people that just want to waste your time. It's those people who I've encountered women who want to try to sell their nude pictures to me. Or I mean, crazy stuff that happens.
This on dating app. Okay.
On the dating app. And it is kind of new school where it is on a dating app. People are not meeting people in person for fear of rejection or whatever the case may be. Or they're not putting their self. Some people are loners. They don't put their self in an environment where they can meet new people. So yeah, it
I understand, Linda. I understand because my mind over here is like if I was a cartoon girl, I ain't able either.
it's unique dating as a Christian man looking for a Christian woman. I would also say that it's unique because everybody, just kind of like we was talking earlier, saying that they are a Christian, and then we're talking about Christian things. I'm trying to talk about Bible or talk. What church do you go to? Or I don't really go to church. I'm a Christian. Okay, do you pray? I mean, I pray,
Yeah,
once or
because
twice a month. But so are you a Christian or are you just a churchgoer? Or are you just a person that say you go to church or say you're a Christian but don't have a relationship with God? Not trying to go back to the other
right.
yeah, but just dating, trying to find my forever person. It was somewhat difficult. I've met people online. Um,
But with
and,
all of the stuff that
yeah,
you go, and can we have that comment back up? Because that comment, like, I like what was said. It was saying that social media has killed the art of communication and social etiquette, and I think that it, in some ways, that it has,
mhm,
because people don't. I remember, well, Lizzie probably remember where we had a class at the church where they taught etiquette. They were taught etiquette. They were taught how to handle themselves at a dinner, how to sit, how to talk, how to do this, and how they're supposed to do different things. And I think that we miss out. Thank you, Deneen, for that comment. Um, I think that a lot of times we miss out on that interaction with people because we are so easy to hide behind a screen.
yeah,
And it doesn't seem real when you're behind the screen, but it's real when you're in that person's face.
face to face.
So people don't know how to communicate with each other. Okay, what she's saying, I did because it was easier for guys to approach me because they
they
look.
say,
Oh, they say that you look mean and quit.
She quit and she will revisit at 55.
At 55, Lord Jesus, help her, Father. Help her. I mean, that's not my lot. That's not my thing. I mean, even I couldn't. I just could not. And I was like, I could not. Meeting people in person is better for me. I can feel a person out. I can kind of get to know who that person is and kind of know stuff. Hey, Miss Julie, how are you? But sitting on a screen and I was like, it works, and I have seen where it worked for some people, and then they ended up getting married, still married today, and I was like, God bless them, bless the Lord.
Bless them real good. Bless
That's
them.
not my lot. That's not me. The reason why I had brought all of that up and everything and talk, because then y'all had met online.
Yes.
So since y'all met online and y'all, I mean, how did that all come about? Y'all met online where y'all like, oh, I want to date him. Oh, I want to date her. Or were y'all like friends or what? How did all that go about?
I'm gonna let Derek say.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all don't have to get all deep, but yeah, I'm just, I'm trying to understand the age group, but go ahead.
Yeah. So we met on June 11th of last year through Facebook dating. And I don't remember if she so with Facebook dating, you have like an X and a heart. So you can choose to either like X that person and that person is removed, or if you list or you heart the person and then they will heart your profile as well, and know for y'all to communicate. So
Okay.
if I just liked her profile but she didn't like mine, then we wouldn't be able to communicate essentially. But
I have a question before you go on with that though.
yeah.
Because y'all were talking about rejection and people not wanting to be rejected. You don't feel rejected if you heart somebody's picture and they X you out?
I wouldn't say you wouldn't feel rejected, but it's like you got all these people on there.
Exactly.
So it's like if you put a X on me, I really don't pay attention to it because I got all these other people liking my profile.
Exactly.
Oh,
so it's really not rejection. Now, if it's somebody that you was like, oh, I want this person, and then they put an X, then that's different.
Okay,
but
and I
like
had
all these
this
people.
And it was this comment that had came up. They were talking about how do Christians meet other Christians besides like I guess like online or different places. Julie trying to get some tea.
That's right.
But anyway, when they were saying that, she was saying, and they were saying options and stuff, but I was talking to somebody just the other day, but I was talking about like the dating scene or whatever, and different people meeting different people. And people have met people, and people say, where do I go to go meet these people besides church and stuff? I think we miss the art of just meeting people, period. Because you can meet people at the grocery store. Yes. You can meet people out on a walk. You can meet people exercising. It's like if you out the house, you don't have to go to like a club, you don't have to go to a party. You can be out to lunch with some of your friends, or out to lunch treating yourself to lunch, and meet somebody while you're out. So I think sometimes we limit ourselves in our own minds of how we can meet somebody else. That's like just my take on that. Man, our time is about almost gone, and I had so many questions. Let me.
we can extend it. This your show. We can extend it.
No, I can't extend it tonight. I have to extend it on another show.
Okay.
Because I have limits, and we got another show that's rolling up at 8:00 when we got to roll this out. I'm gonna do. Oh man, which way am I going to go? I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do like some rapid fire questions, and y'all can choose one or the other. So Lizzie, y'all can point to each other, see which one does what. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have y'all come back because I'm going to get my other questions in, and we're going to do that. So we're going to do this really quick. Okay. So who is more of a picky eater? It's just random questions. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to get lost while driving? Who is more spontaneous?
Me.
Okay. Who is the better gift giver?
It's a tie.
Oh man, who is most likely to try something new?
Me.
Derek.
Yes.
Okay, and who is most likely to bring up a serious conversation?
I'll say both of us.
Yeah. It's
And
50.
who is the better planner?
Me.
Oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to end. I got a lot. Like I said, I have other questions that I want to ask y'all, so I'm gonna have to bring y'all back on the show. Maybe I could bring y'all back with another couple that's married, and we're gonna do all that good stuff or whatever. But I want to thank you for sharing what you did share on tonight. It has blessed me. It has made me think too. So I might have some extra questions when y'all come back next time. But thank y'all for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to the next time that we are here together. For those of you who are part of my Whole and Beautiful Nation, the Whole and Beautiful crew, I thank you for being here tonight. And I pray that you will join me again tomorrow, 4 p.m. It'll be a replay of this show. So you want to make sure that people see it. And then we'll be right back here next week at 7 p.m. on Friday, ready to share some more information, revelation, and change. I am Angela the Oliphant, allowing you to see, hear, and know that Whole and Beautiful is not just your destination. It is most definitely your journey. So I am going to join you back here next week. I'll see y'all then. Love you much. Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like to be a guest or recommend a guest, you can contact me at wholebeautiful@gmail.com. On all other social media platforms, it's Whole and Beautiful. Remember, Whole and Beautiful is not just your destination, it is most definitely your journey.